Welcome back, artists. Today we're going to take that watercolor background that we used our favorite techniques. So I used like rubbing alcohol and some plastic wrap, and we picked one, maybe two colors tops. What we're trying to do is make a really interesting background, or what artists call grounds, okay? You can go over to the paper buffet and you can look through maps, vintage, these like vintage ads, kind of interesting, especially if you like more feminine things. Then I have a whole bunch of neat newspapers in different languages and newspapers in English. Just, you know, an interesting like visual texture. It doesn't matter if you can't read it, it's just kind of interesting. And then, of course, our beautiful words. So the one thing we have to incorporate is something handwritten. All the other stuff is just kind of extra, okay? So I'm going to start with a deckled edge. Deckled edge means that I rip my edges so that they're not so neat. And I'm not going to use my whole thing. I'm going to include maybe that Mother Teresa said my poem. So I'm going to probably use this, okay? And then I found this cool piece of map, and I don't know that I want it to say Saudi Arabia because I'm not actually Saudi Arabian, but I do like the texture that it gives. And then I found this cool piece of newspaper, and I don't know that I need this whole page, so I'm going to rip like that piece. And then I looked in this vintage book and I found this really cool picture, picture of these flowers. And this is kind of my color, like fuchsia, purple. I love that. So I cut out some of these, and I'm going to hold on to the rest of this for later. So I'm going to put that in my sketchbook because I want to have some unity and bring that in later. You may want to hold on to some newspaper in your sketchbook. Just use it as a folder. So now we have to kind of glue this down, and I'm going to teach you a really neat thing. So at your table, you should have something that says, "The Amazing Glue Sponge." This is not an invention that I have patented, but it is really great, okay? So I think I'm going to put my words down first. So I just kind of tap my words on the Amazing Glue Sponge and pick it up, and I think I'm going to slap that down here. And it doesn't have to be, it can be on an angle, it doesn't have to be anything. I'm going to try and work those creases out. Now, if I have some area that's sticking out and I'm not dirty, I would just take my finger and get under there. Some of you guys are wimps and you won't get dirty. You can use a little piece of paper, kind of use it as a brush, okay? Glue that down. All right, now I think I'm going to put my newspaper. This newspaper looks really cool. Oh, I like it this way. So I'm going to take my Amazing Glue Sponge. And if your Amazing Glue Sponge needs a little bit of water, let me know and I'll mist it with a little fine bit of water. But this is a great way to not use squeeze bottle glue because it's like so hard to squeeze out. And I think this is kind of a boring area of my background. I'm just going to lay that down and overlap. Remember last time we talked about how overlap always looks cool? And then I have this cool map. I don't know if I need this whole map. I think maybe I'll give this to a friend or throw it back in the map bin. But I'm going to glue down my map. And you're probably thinking, Mrs. Johannes, this is a mess. But yeah, you're right. It should be, because we're just trying to create an interesting background for our piece. Remember, it's kind of influenced by graffiti. So we kind of want it to be a little street artish. I like this one. Use my Amazing Glue Sponge. And I'm just kind of slapping it on. and overlapping. The one thing you have to have, the one requirement, is something that you hand wrote, whether it's your quote or poem or song lyrics. This other stuff is just extra and fun. You don't have to have all of them. I'm just demonstrating all of them. I'm going to take another little piece. Maybe put this up here. Okay, so I've created kind of more interest. Close to my color scheme, right? Fuchsia is really red, violet, and violet, so they're analogous. I don't want to introduce too many colors. Next class, we could always put a wash on this with some watercolor if you feel like it's too busy. All right, so the objective today is to incorporate your handwritten poem or inspirational quote, and possibly some newspaper, some maps, some interesting magazine pictures, anything you want to kind of give more interest to your background. Make sure that your name is on the back and you put it on the right drying rack. Thank you.